Lindy. It's, I think I got like 6:04, 6:05. You want to go ahead and get started?
Sounds good.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome everybody. This is the first and hopefully not the last edition of Food and Fitness. I am registered dietitian Jessica McAllister, and I have teamed up with my wonderful, beautiful co-host, Lindy Fisher. She's a lifestyle and fitness coach, and we are going to be doing a lot of stuff in the next hour. We've got two things to accomplish. First, we're gonna go ahead and prep a quick and easy dinner recipe. We've got some vegetarian enchiladas to prep. That should take no longer than 30 minutes, maybe a little faster. And then once those vegetarian enchiladas are in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and do a workout with Lindy. And she's gonna make us sweat a little bit and burn some energy and work up a little bit of appetite. And by the time that workout is done, then it'll be time to eat. So hopefully our enchiladas will be ready. So hopefully everybody is ready to go. If you are joining us through the Eventbrite link, thank you for registering in advance. And if you feel free to utilize the chat. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, we're kind of monitoring the chat too, so feel free to chime in with your comments, your questions, anything you want to know. This is all for you. So, Lindy, you got anything to say before we get started?
I don't know, other than thank you all so much for being here. I know we're both so excited, and go ahead and get started.
All righty. So again, our recipe today is vegetarian enchiladas, and I picked this recipe for a couple of reasons. Number one, you know, we get a lot of questions about people wanting to transition over to vegetarian or vegan lifestyle, and you know, there's obviously a lot of benefit to incorporating more plant-based diets, foods into your diet. So number one is obviously the nutrient benefit. There's so many different antioxidants and plant chemicals that help to boost our health and our wellness. But number two, it's just that movement into a less processed diet. You know, a lot of vegetarian recipes have whole food ingredients, and the more variety that you can get with whole foods, the better it is, not only for your energy, your digestive system, women's health, men's health, everything. So we're going to focus a little bit on energy, because of course we need energy in order to be able to not only cook the meal, but do Lindy's workout, live day to day. So we're going to focus in a little bit on how these ingredients can contribute to boosting your energy levels so that you can be fueled throughout the day. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I do have my quote electric skillet here. It's heating up, and we do want to make sure that it is not too hot. So we're going to add that olive oil to this skillet so it can be getting warmed. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute our peppers, garlic, and onion. So I'm just going to make sure this pan is nice and coated here. And disclaimer to everyone, I know a lot about food, but I do not claim to be a chef. I just like to cook. So if you see me, you know, mess up something, or, you know, something doesn't turn out exactly picture perfect, that's because, you know, I'm just an average cook like you all. So we've got our garlic, our peppers, and our onions in this bowl here. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the skillet. All right, so we're gonna get that sauteing. And if you are cooking along, I know the recipe called for a lot of this stuff to be pre-chopped, pre-diced and whatnot. And I literally, the only thing I really had to chop was the peppers, because they didn't come already chopped. The onions, you can buy them frozen and pre-chopped. So that's a great time saver when it comes to something like this, where you want to use a whole food ingredient, a vegetable or whatnot. Again, it saves a lot of time. So we want to let these saute until they get somewhat brown. The recipe says maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. So you want to move them around. All right. So while that's cooking, let's talk a little bit about energy. And, you know, there's an old saying, you are what you eat, right? And actually, there's not as much truth to that as we may think or believe. Really, it's not necessarily you are what you eat, but you are what you absorb. And, you know, that is certainly true when it comes to energy. And we want to make sure that when we're focusing on changing our diets, that we're getting the total nutrition out of our foods. And so what does total nutrition mean? It means not only are we getting the macronutrients like those carbs, protein, and fat, but we're getting the right minerals, the right vitamins, the right plant chemicals. All those things that are gonna help our bodies to be able to absorb all of those carbs, protein, and fat, and then use them for their purpose. So, you know, we think of carbs, we think of quick energy stores. So for example, when you guys are doing Lindy's workout today, you're gonna be using carbs for that quick energy. So not only do you wanna make sure that your meal has carbs, but you wanna make sure that you've got a lot of plant chemicals, a lot of fruits and vegetables on board so that your body can appropriately use those carbs. So that's why good, healthy nutrition is so important, you know, because a lot of people will start to exercise, but they don't really want to focus in on their diet so much. And, you know, we get burned out because we don't have the energy, or we start incorporating caffeine into our diets, things like that. And all of that just kind of sets us up for a crash and burn, if you will. So again, just making sure when you're thinking about what kind of carb sources you have on board, whether it be grains or fruit or dairy, just making sure that you've got some fruits and vegetables on board as well, so your body can absorb all of those good nutrients. All right, so on my end, it looks like this is just about where we want it to be. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our zucchini and our squash. And I went ahead and pre-chopped. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to my skillet because I don't want it to stick. And I got some olive oil here that I'm using too. Alrighty. So we're gonna go ahead and add our zucchini and our squash. We got a lot of fruits or a lot of vegetables going on in this particular recipe. That's why I love it. All right. So again, we're gonna let this kind of cook down so the zucchini and the squash gets really nice and soft. We don't want it too soft because when we put it in the oven, it's gonna get even softer. We don't want it to turn into mush. We want it to still kind of be intact, but soft enough to not be crunchy when we're eating our enchilada. All right, and so now we're gonna go ahead and add our corn. And disclaimer, I actually bought some frozen corn to kind of put in here, quick and easy. You could have used canned corn. And that's another question I get pretty often, you know, what's the difference between fresh, frozen, or canned goods? When it comes to vegetables, frozen vegetables and fruit are usually frozen at their peak of freshness. So their nutrition is very similar to anything that you would buy fresh. So don't be afraid to, you know, save yourself a little bit of money maybe. Or I like to buy frozen because it allows me to be able to plan ahead a little better without worrying about stuff going bad. So definitely consider your frozen vegetables. Also, most canned goods aren't terrible. If you have to buy canned goods, again, to save refrigerator space or for convenience, that's perfectly fine too. You know, canned vegetables, they get a bad rap for having too much sodium, but you could easily, if you need to, drain that, rinse it off real good, and get rid of the bulk of that sodium. So Don't be afraid to go canned either. Whatever allows you to fit fruits and vegetables into your diet the easiest, go with it. Go with it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add this pico de gallo. And we got a really good rainbow going on here. And so really we want all of this to simmer down until all that liquid goes away. So basically we're going to boil off that liquid, and then we will add our beans. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plus, well, about 5 or 6 different kinds of vegetables going on here. I love it. I love it. All right, so we are going to let that simmer for a little bit. So all that water boils off, that liquid boils off. In the meantime, I mentioned earlier that, we get the bulk of our energy from not only macronutrients, but other sources. So, energy in its form in food comes from carbs, protein, and fat. So when we think of something like our body's using carbs, protein, or fat for energy, what does that look like? So basically our bodies will take those forms and break them down into, the atoms and molecules and rearrange them and everything in order to be able to fuel our action. And that's the goal, is to fuel action. So if we compare that to something like caffeine, or, we get from our coffee or our Cokes, or whatever source you get your caffeine from, we tend to think, oh yeah, I'll have a cup of coffee to give me a little bit more energy. And really, stimulants is, for example, like caffeine, they don't necessarily provide energy per se, but they just are a stimulant, so they stimulate our bodies to move and to be in action. They don't necessarily fuel that action. So if you think about, for example, if you were to get in the car, turn it on, and the car has little to no gas in it, and you step on the pedal real hard, hoping that the car will just shoot off, go from 0 to 60 and just like that. Well, if the car doesn't have much gas, then your car might get a little bit close to that 0 to 60 mark. It may accelerate a little bit, but then at some point it's just going to stop because there's no more gas in the tank. And so that's the difference between having a stimulant for your energy source versus having carbs, protein, and fat, i.e. good nutrition for your energy source. So just want to encourage you again, not that there's anything bad about coffee and caffeine and again, other caffeine sources. They're beneficial. Sometimes you need that little pick-me-up throughout the day because you don't want to have, highs and lows when it comes to your energy. You want to make sure that your energy is somewhat consistent throughout the day. So if you think of comparing rolling hills compared to like high peak mountaintops, you want your energy to just kind of roll up and down throughout the day. And sometimes you do need to use caffeine in order to be able to make that happen a little bit. But at the same time, if you're dependent on it as a stimulant and you have to have it, throughout your day pretty regularly, then I would suggest taking a look at your total nutrition to make sure that you've got your natural or food source energy on board in a good way to be able to fuel your day. Because that's the purpose of good nutrition after all, definitely. All righty, so it looks like our zucchini and squash are cooking down. They're getting soft and some of this liquid is going away. I wish I could tilt this, but yeah, you can see that. It's looking yummy. Okie doke. All right. Again, if you got any questions, you're watching and you're just coming in, welcome. Thank you for joining. And if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. All right. Gosh, I cannot wait to be able to do these things live in person again. Hopefully the world will open back up so we can do these things soon. Yeah, this virtual world, it's just nothing like being in a group setting and, you know, sharing and cooking and talking to actual human beings, huh? Now that gives me an energy boost, just thinking about that. All righty. Looks like we are almost there. And we are doing good on time too. Got the oven already preheated. And Parker says, or hug someone. Amen to that. Yes. Yes. Be able to hug freely. Like if you see somebody that needs a hug, you don't have to ask them. They've been vaccinated. Well, you probably should, but you know, definitely. Okie doke. So let's see. All right. And you know, it's okay to have the recipe with you. Matter of fact, this is a good meal prep recipe. And you know, that's another thing that might drain your energy is just decision making. You know, some of us are just burnt out with having to decide what's for lunch, what's for dinner, what's for breakfast, you know, and I read somewhere that it takes, people make about 70 decisions concerning food a day. And, you know, when it comes to meal prepping, that's something that personally I've incorporated into my life. And, you know, I teach my clients how to meal prep because it's, you know, a bunch of decisions that you just don't have to make anymore. Once you decide on, you know, what lunch is going to look like for the next few days or what dinner is going to look like for the next few days, you don't have to make those decisions anymore. And that in turn will relieve stress, which also can contribute to low energy. So the less stress you have, the less decisions you have to make, that increases your energy. That increases your ability to think and move and be active like you really want to be, because you just have that peace of mind. You know, there are other strategies that you can do. Some people will make lists for themselves, you know, maybe reviewing the next day, the night before, just to figure out what needs to happen. If you've got a busy lifestyle, you're anything like me, you got a lot going on with, you know, kids and house and work and all of that. You know, if you kind of map out your next day the night before and figure out, again, what needs to happen the night before, you can make sure that you're not stressed about it. And there are little to no surprises, you know. Stuff pops up, but every now and then, but at the same time, if we can prepare and plan, that helps to alleviate our stress, which in turn can increase our energy as well. All right. So it looks like we are pretty much where we need to be. So now I'm going to go ahead and add our black beans. 1 cup of these black beans. And 1 cup of our pinto beans. About half the can. And this looks beautiful. Gosh, I wish you guys could see this. Well, you will in a second. You will in a second. Or when you actually make the recipe at home, you will definitely get to see what is going on here. All right. So while I am giving that its last minute or so to simmer, cover this up, I am going to get our pan ready. And we're just gonna spray it real lightly with our non-stick spray so that the tortillas don't stick to our pan. Because the last thing we need is a super messy pan when we get ready to wash it. All right. We're just gonna get out 8 tortillas, and I did choose corn tortillas, less gluten, obviously. You know, there's really a similar nutrition benefit, but at the same time, you know, corn and tortillas are gluten-free, which helps to address any bloating or gassiness or whatnot that we might encounter from gluten-based products. So I've got 5. I need 3 more. All right. So we got our tortillas. So what we're going to do here is we are actually going to take our tortillas and we are going to spoon in. Can you guys see that? Kind of yummy. Right, I think I might have put too much in here. And again, like I said, I am not a chef, so you get what you get. All right. But basically, we are just going to stuff our tortillas here and roll them and place them flat. There we go. Right, so the goal is to get them to seal and kind of line up with each other as best we can. And again, this is going to bake off, so you know, this is all going to kind of mesh together in the enchilada form so that we can enjoy it on our yummy plates. All right. And we're keeping in mind that all of this is not going to go in the tortillas. There's actually going to be some left over, so we're just going to top off our tortillas after the fact. All right. Last one. You guys ready for Lindy's workout? I am super excited. I mean, I'm glad we recorded this because I'm probably going to go back probably tomorrow and actually do Lindy's workout. So, because I want to make sure, you know, clean up and whatnot while you guys are working out, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. So what we're going to do is top off our tortillas with the rest of our filling. Kind of evenly spreading it over. And word to the wise, I did find this recipe on one of my favorite sites to find recipes, eatingwell.com. And when they made it, they had they didn't roll their tortillas like I'm doing here. And when I tried it the first time, I didn't like exactly how it turned out, so I kind of tweaked it a little bit. So if you do go on Eating Well and you see the same recipe, it's got the same ingredients, but at the same time, I'm rolling my tortillas versus just laying them flat. Again, just a little modification I think will make it a little bit easier to cook and to cut once it's already done. All right. So we are good to go on these toppings. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do is top this Big Mama off with some cheese. And another disclaimer, you can use regular cheese on this. I'm choosing to use vegan cheese. So I actually found this brand of vegan pepper jack cheese. This particular brand I'm pretty fond of. You might have also seen Daya brand, and they're really good too. And you know, people ask, well, what is vegan cheese made out of? It's pretty much made out of the same thing any kind of plant-based milk is made out of. I know cashews work really well to make, quote, vegan cheese. So really, it's just processed cashews and, you know, some other ingredients to kind of make it hold together and look like cheese. But for the most part, it is plant-based. So not really a whole lot of Frankenstein, the science lab things going on. Unless you count food science, that is. Yes. All right. So we've got our cheese on here, and voila. Let me see if I can. So that is ready to go. We're going to go ahead and pop that in the oven, and we're going to give Lindy a shout to see if she is ready to go. Hey, Lindy.
Hey, Jessica, that looks delicious. I can't wait to make those myself.
Awesome. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to pop these in the oven, and everybody is all yours.
Okay, let me turn my video on here.
Okay.
Really? All right.
All right, you ready?
And hi, everyone. I'm Lindy Fisher, founder of Live Lean with Lindy, and I am so excited to have you all here joining me live for our virtual food and fitness event. That meal looks so delicious, so good job to everyone for all of your hard work putting together a healthy vegetarian meal. And now, while your delicious dinner cooks in the oven, you get to do a quick, full body, no equipment workout that I will lead you through. And you don't need anything except just a little bit of space. Grab some water, and we are going to go ahead and get started. So we are going to start with just a basic warm-up to get our muscles moving. So go ahead and just march in place. Start with just marching. If you would like, you can run in place, just a slow jog. So the great thing about this workout is that A, it's full body, and B, it's for any level. So whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, you can do whatever you want. There are modifications to every exercise that I'm going to show you. So I will make sure and let you know what your options are. So we're still just kind of marching. We're going to step side to side, swinging our arms across in front of our body, opening up our chest, stretching out our arms. Now just go ahead and roll your shoulders back while you're still moving your legs side to side and forward. Now take your arms and push them back to warm up your triceps. You're definitely going to use every muscle today. And now switch with your palms facing forward. Lift them up, curl your arms up like a bicep curl, just warming up the inner arm. And now take your opposite elbow to your opposite knee and just lift your knee in front of your body. Bring your elbow all the way to your knee. Just warming up your legs and your arms. And now just go ahead and sit back in a regular squat and stand up. We're going to do 5 of those. And 2 more. Back to marching or jogging in place. And we are about to get started. So let me tell you what the workout is going to look like. It's very simple because it is all going to be in increments of 30 seconds. So we have 15 exercises that you will do for 30 seconds. In between each exercise, you will get to rest for 15 seconds. And then we will repeat that 2 times. And it doesn't matter if you have to take a break or you can't do as many reps as someone else is doing. It doesn't matter because it's all time. So we'll all be together and just go at your own pace. If you need to take a break or get some water, that's totally fine. Just hop back in whenever you can. I'm going to be here doing it with you, leading you along, letting you know what exercise is coming up next. So we are going to get started here in just about 15 seconds. So go ahead and make sure you have your water and you have plenty of space in front of you. And our first exercise is squats. So we did those in our warm-up, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Sit down as far as you can, back in your heels, stand up at the top. Make sure that you keep your chest lifted, your toes are pointed right in front of you. We're doing these squats for 30 seconds. We're already halfway done. We have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. All right, rest. You have 15 seconds to make sure you're taking lots of good deep breaths and grab some water, rest. We're then going to move into our next exercise, exercise number 2, which is high knees. Now you can either stand in place and pull your opposite leg with your opposite arm, lift your knee as high as you can, or you can run it and lift your knee up while you are running. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. High knees for 30 seconds. Lift your knees up as high as you can. The higher you lift it, the more it will work your core muscles. Try to run a little bit faster if you can. If you can't run, just lift those knees up as high as you can. You'll feel a pull in the back of your glute muscles. Y'all are doing great. Just 5 seconds left. Get those knees up there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We have one more burst of cardio before we get to slow down a little bit. And the next exercise will be butt kickers. It's the same thing, running in place, but you're literally going to kick your butt with your heel. We got about 10 seconds of rest. 3, 2, 1. All right, run in place and kick your butt with the heel of your foot. If you can't run, just do the exact same thing standing in place. You'll really feel a pull in your leg if you're contracting your muscle the way that you should be. So let's go. You only have 10 seconds left. Kick your butt. You should feel it every single time. And rest. 15 seconds of rest. All right. We have 3, 2, 1. These are lunges. We're just going to do a basic forward lunge, stepping forward with one foot, back to the center, and then switching to your opposite leg. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Make sure you go down as low as you can without touching your knee to the ground. And don't let your knee go over your toe. Make sure that your leg is in a straight line in front of you. We're halfway done. Keep it up. Y'all are doing great. Just go down as low as you can. Try to get a little bit lower each time. Make sure to remember to breathe. 3, 2, 1. All right, you have 15 seconds of rest. And then we're going to be down on the ground for push-ups. So make sure you grab some water. All right, you can do push-ups from your legs, from your toes, or from your knees, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just make sure your body's in a straight line. We're gonna go ahead and go. All the way down, push back up. Contracting your back muscles, lifting your chest as low as you can to the ground. Body's in a straight line. If you need to do them from your knees, just make sure that your body's still in a straight line. You're squeezing your ab muscles, going down as low as you can. 10 more seconds. Almost done. You are doing great. And that's it. 15 seconds of rest. And then we're going to stay down on the ground for our next exercise, which is going to be a basic crunch. So we're going to work our stomach muscles in 3, 2, 1. Hands behind your head, lifting up. Your head and your shoulders off the ground, keeping your head lifted, your elbows out to the side. Don't pull in your neck. Make sure you squeeze your abdominal muscles. And I like to lift my toes to give your lower ab muscles just a little bit more of a push. All right, we got 5 seconds left. And stop. 15 seconds of rest. Y'all are doing so good. I'm really proud of you. All right, next we are up on our feet again. 3, 2, 1, and we are doing jumping jacks. So you can do a regular jumping jack. If you would like a modification, you can step out side to side. Just make sure that you lift your arms up. The more you lift your arms, the better that is to get your heart rate going up. You can try to jump it, do that. Even if you just do it slow, that's better than nothing. If you can go faster, that will give you a little bit of an extra cardio blast. Just 10 seconds left, y'all are doing great. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Staying on our feet for the next move. Got 10 seconds of rest. All right, we're gonna do a squat, but this time it's a plie squat. So our legs are in a wider stance. Toes are facing outwards. You're gonna sit down as far as you can. Stand up, squeezing at the top. It is a ballet move, so I just kind of naturally, with my history of being a dancer, put my arms in front of me. You don't have to do that. You can just hold them in front of you or out to the side, but I don't know, that's just what I do. You're doing great, we're halfway done. Sit down as low as you can. If you can, widen your stance just a little bit. Make sure to keep your chest lifted, your core is engaged. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We're gonna be down on the mat for our next exercise. Got about 11 seconds of rest. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down. We're going to do tricep dips, working the backs of our arms. So your fingertips are facing towards your bottom, up in a tabletop position, down and up, pushing down and up, working the backs of your arms. If you want it to be a little bit more challenging, you can do your tricep dips on one leg. 10 seconds left, y'all are doing great. Just make sure you push down and push back up, working the backs of your arms in 3, 2, 1. All right, rest. I'm really sore. I actually did a very similar workout yesterday, so my arms are burning. You will definitely feel this. And this is an easy workout that y'all can do anytime from home. You don't need any equipment. All right, we're actually back on the ground working our obliques, our side ab muscles, and these are going to be Russian twists. So you're going to kind of sit back on your sit bones and just go side to side. I like to actually touch my elbow to each side, squeezing your ab muscles. If you can, lift your feet off the ground. If you really want to challenge yourself at home and you have a weight or a weighted ball that you can hold, that's really good too. Just 10 seconds left. Go all the way to the side, touch that elbow to the ground, squeeze your core. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Back on our feet for the next exercise. You are doing so good. We're more than halfway done with round 1. Hopefully your dinner is nice and hot and bubbly and be ready and waiting for you when you're done with your workout. All right, here we go. Back to lunges. You can just stay with the forward lunge, or if you want to take it up a notch, we're going to do jumping lunges. So down in a lunge, push off the balls of your feet as high as you can, switch legs in the air. You really have to push off the balls of your feet to get height, so you have enough time to switch your legs. Do not let your knee hit the ground. Make sure you keep your chest lifted. You're going down as low as you can without touching your knee to the ground. 5 seconds left. You're doing great. And rest. Oh, my legs are burning. Okay, you got 15 seconds to rest. Okay, this is the hard one, but I know you can do it. It's a burpee. There's a few different versions of burpees. You can either put your hands down, walk your feet back into plank position, walk back to your hands, stand up at the top, or you can jump back to your hands, jump at the top. Or if you want to jump back to your hands, you can stand at the top. Or you can go all the way down, touch your chest at the bottom, or you can do a push-up. So really it's whatever you feel like your fitness level, where you're at is what you should be doing. So we go in 3, 2, 1. Here we go, burpees. Make sure that you are squeezing your ab muscles. If you want to go all the way to the ground, you can do that. Or you could do a push-up. There's so many varieties of burpees. Just keep moving. Oh, we're almost done. 5 seconds. You're doing great. And done. Good job. Those were 2 hard back-to-back exercises with the jumping lunges and the burpees. Okay, we're gonna rest, get some water, we're back on the ground. All right, we're going into glute bridges. Lay down on the ground, feet are bent, arms by your side. Lift your butt off the ground and squeeze at the top and back down. All right, here we go. Make sure you're breathing. Really squeeze your glute muscles at the top. This is another one. If you have a weight at home, you can hold a weight right here on your hips. Your legs are probably a lot stronger than you think they are. So if you have a weight or a bar, that'd be a great thing to do. All right, rest. Or if you have a band, I have a bunch of my favorite bands and weights available in my shop on my website. You could put a band in between your legs, and that will just help provide more resistance. There are some easy, simple, cheap pieces of equipment that you can get to keep at home to really push yourself, make your workouts a little bit harder. You know, it doesn't require a lot of space or a lot of money. Okay, we're back on the ground doing a plank. You can either be on your hands and your feet, holding your body in a straight line, leaning over your shoulders, or you can go down on your elbows. Just make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists. You are pulling in your belly button to your spine. We just have 15 seconds left. If you're up here, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not lifting your bottom up. You're not too low, that your body is in a straight line. You are doing great. Just 5 seconds left. Pull your ab muscles in and rest. Okay, we just have one exercise left, and then round one will be done. You got this. You're doing such a good job. What a fun way to spend a Saturday night. Since there's really not a whole lot going on anyways, you're saving money, you're making a delicious, healthy, plant-based meal, and you're getting in a quick workout at home that you can do over and over again. Do it a few times a week. All right, back down on the ground. Legs are straight up in the air. Legs are straight. Hands are up in front of us. We're doing vertical leg crunches, lifting up as high as you can, trying to reach your toes. Make sure your head and your shoulders are lifting off the ground. You're reaching up as high as you can to try to touch your toes, keeping your abs engaged. You're doing great, just 10 seconds left. Keep going, lift up a little bit higher. Try to touch those toes. Working your lower ab muscles. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, y'all, you get 3 minutes of rest because round one is done. You did such a good job. I'll take a look at the chat on our live Zoom for all of you who have joined in live through Eventbrite. Thank you, this is so fun. Like Jessica said, hopefully we'll be able to have live in-person events here soon. I know I'm planning my first live event for this year coming up next month in May. I cannot wait. Stay tuned, it'll be a live in-person workout, a live healthy food tasting. But this virtual one, I'm just so thankful that you all were able to join in. So I'll take a look at the chat and just see if anyone has questions. Happy to answer. So you can type out any questions in the event chat, just about anything at all. Oh, we got a dog on the loose. Just like 1.5 more minutes of rest to make sure you get some water. Hi. Sometimes your dogs and your kids like to join you in workouts. That's totally fine. Setting a good example. Okay, so take a deep breath. We're gonna do all 15 of those exercises one more time, and then you're done. We're doing great on time. If you need to go check the oven real fast, you can, but hopefully everything will be good because we're starting in 3, 2, 1. We're back to the squats. So sitting back in our heels, keeping your chest lifted, squeezing a little bit at the top, but make sure that you're not leaning back and really pushing your hips forward. You don't want to do that. You want to keep your body in a straight line and just kind of contract at the top. This is another one of those exercises. If you have a small band that you can put around your legs, that's just going to help even more. All right, keep going. 3, 2, 1. All right, shake it out. You got 15 seconds of rest. And we're going to go back to our high knees. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're running in place or just marching in place and lifting your legs up as high as you can. All right, try to run a little bit faster. Try to lift those knees up just a little bit higher. You're doing so good. Just 10 seconds left. Keep it up and rest. Good job. Whew. All right, next is, remember, we have one more cardio blast, and those are those butt kickers. So same thing as our high knees. You're just lifting up your foot as close as you can to your butt and literally kicking your butt with your heel. Here we go. 30 seconds. Run a little bit faster if you can. Make sure you are feeling that butt kick. Halfway done. Keep going. Don't stop. You're on a roll. All right, 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Remember to get water, and remember to breathe. All right, we're gonna go into those front lunges. 2, 1, here we go. Alternating legs, keeping your chest lifted. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Don't touch your knee to the ground, just try to get it as low as you can. Squeeze every muscle in your core midsection. Just 5 seconds left. You're doing great. And rest. 15 seconds of rest, good job. We're down on the ground in 5 seconds for our push-ups. All right, so go ahead and either get on your knees or on your toes. And here we go. 30 seconds of push-ups. Y'all can do this. Get down as low as you can. Your body in a straight line. Make sure not to drop your hips. Keep your core engaged. You got this. Come on. Almost done. You're more than halfway there. Just 10 more seconds. If you have to go to your knees, that's fine too. Just make sure that you keep moving. And rest. Make sure you grab water. This is my favorite water bottle. I've tried so many. This is the Hydro Jug. I love it. It has a pocket for your phone, or 2 pockets here, keys, wallet, you can wear it. People always ask me about this, and they have different sleeves. So you can swap out different colors of bottles with different sleeves. I've got a discount link in my shop on my website. It's by far my favorite. Okay, back on the ground. Doing crunches now. Laying down. Hands behind your head. And go. Lift those toes off the ground to get a little bit more work in your lower abdominal muscles. Lift up and squeeze. Y'all are doing so good. I know I've got a lot of questions on my Instagram Live and Facebook Live that are coming through. I'll try to answer questions at breaks about different things. 5 more seconds. Multiple different streamings going on here, so I'll try to, okay, rest. See what all I can answer. Hi. My sports bra is in my shop. This is the queen one. I have a lot more designs now. As of yesterday, some of you saw I added a bunch of different workout clothes, leisure apparel, all things that I've personally designed with my design team. They're all in my shop on my website, liveleanlindy.com/shop. You can find a lot of the things that I love to wear for workout and just like athleisure clothes. They're all in there. Okay, we are moving on to jumping jacks. Here we go. Gotta go 30 seconds. Jumping jacks. Try to go a little bit faster this time if you can. Squeeze those ab muscles, pull them in. Already halfway done. Y'all are almost halfway done with the second round. You're doing so good. Keep moving. Even if you have to modify, just make sure that you're continuing to move your body. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, we are staying on our feet, going into plie squat. So make sure you got that wider stance here. And here we go, dropping down as low as you can, squeezing at the top. Make sure you're squeezing your glute muscles, keeping your core engaged. Everything is tight, chest is lifted. Focus on good posture during this one. I'm so hungry. I know that dinner is going to be so delicious. I'm sure y'all are excited to eat it. You will deserve it after this workout. You're doing a great job. Keep going, just 7 seconds left. Really squeeze, these should be slow and controlled. And rest. We're down on the ground for the next one. Make sure you get some water. All right, we're going back down to our tricep dips, working the backs of our arms. So we're gonna be up in that tabletop position and bending down and up. If you wanna raise your leg, you can. If you wanna put just the leg up here bent, you can do that. Just make sure you're squeezing the backs of your arms every time you lift up. Come on, y'all are doing so good. Don't stop now. If you have to rest, that's fine. Just pop right back in. Keep going. I'm watching the time. 3, 2, 1. Good job. One of the reasons I was so excited to partner with Jessica is, well, A, she's a nutritionist. And as much as I'm passionate about healthy plant-based eating, I'm not an official nutritionist or dietitian. But nutrition is so important. I always say follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of your success and what the results you're going to see are going to come from your nutrition and what you're putting in your body. The other 20% is moving and exercise and physical fitness, but you can't outwork a bad diet. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that'll keep you going, motivate you. Here we're doing this Russian twist, so side to side. Again, slow and controlled. Lift your feet off the ground if you can. If you have a weight at home, you can do that. I love weighted abs just to see better, more defined results with my ab muscles. Once you can succeed at doing regular abdominal exercises without weights, I would suggest adding in some resistance. 3, 2, 1. All right, good job. Back on our feet. All right, y'all, we're almost done. You got this. We're going back to jumping lunges, okay? Here we go. Lunge, jump up, and switch. Push off the balls of your feet to get as high as you can. Switching your legs in the air. If you can't do jumping lunges, you can just go back to forward lunges, or you could switch it up and step back and do a backward lunge. Just as long as you continue to keep moving and alternating your legs. 5 seconds left. You can do it. Push a little bit harder. And stop. All right, we're resting. Going into burpees. This is the hard part where we have 2 really hard bursts of jumping cardio back to back. All right, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Burpee. Try to push yourself a little bit more this round, okay? It's just 30 seconds. You can do anything for 30 seconds, I promise. Jump high at the top. Already more than halfway done. Y'all got this. 5 seconds. Last one. And stop. We are almost done. 3 more left. You can do it. All right, we're laying down, doing our glute bridges. Working our butt. Flat on your back, knees bent. Push up. Squeeze at the top and down. Make sure to pause and squeeze at the top. Halfway done. You're doing such a good job. We are almost done with everything, I promise. Keep going. Getting those summer bodies ready. You're doing all the right things by cooking healthy, adding in plant-based meals, and moving your body. Little small changes on a daily basis. That's what I always tell my clients. All right, rest. Good job. I'm gonna flip over and do our plank next. All right, here we go. 30 seconds in a plank. Get up or down on your elbows. Here we go. Make sure to really pull that belly button up to the spine. Lean over your shoulders, shoulders over your wrists. Body's in a straight line. Everything is contracted. Really pull those ab muscles in, like pull them in harder now. Pull them in tighter, harder. Really focus on squeezing them. Almost done. 9 more seconds. Y'all got this. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. All right. Last one. Ab exercise. It's our vertical leg crunches. Good job. You all are doing so well. All right, lay down. All right, legs are straight up. Arms are up, head and shoulder lifted off the ground, and go. Lift up. This time, try to reach higher. Try to grab those toes. Feel your lower ab muscles working. These are the muscles that people complain about the most. You gotta push yourself, do more reps. Lift a little bit higher. Try to not take a break this time. You can do it. Come on, lift up. Yo, we're almost done. This is it. Keep going. You just have 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Whew. Take a deep breath. Grab a quick drink of water. Just do a quick little stretch and cool down. And then your dinner is going to be ready. You get to go eat a delicious Mexican meal. So exciting. Okay, so right now let's just do some big arm circles back and forward. Arms, one arm across your chest. Let's stretch out those arm muscles because remember, we worked everything. Stretching is so important. You should always warm up before you work out. Some kind of cardio. Gonna make sure you're moving during your warm up. You're not just sitting and stretching. Switch arms. And then, you're cooling down and doing stretching at the end of your workout. And every day, stretching is so important. All right, let's pull our arm behind our head, stretch out our triceps. If you liked this workout, switch. I have so many different workout programs available on my website. No equipment workouts, at-home workouts, gym workouts, outdoor workouts with your stroller. If you have babies or kids, stroller fitness workouts. Legs hip width apart, just bend forward, touch your hands down in the middle. There's all different packages available for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. Check them out on leslieandlindy.com. Over to the right and to the left. Stand up, one hand on your hip, right hand over your head, and just lean over to the side. Give your obliques a big stretch and switch. And let's pull our shoe to our butt. Give yourself a really good quad stretch here. And the other side. If you don't already follow Jessica and her dietitian page on Facebook, you definitely should. Same thing, the Live Lean with Lindy has a Facebook page, Instagram. We both have websites. We love helping people out and focusing on healthy eating and fitness. So switch, pull your knee to your chest. On my website, I also have my personal grocery list available. That's all plant-based, everything I buy on a weekly basis. I've got my own recipes. Jessica has so many recipes on her website. I've actually made a few of those as well. So, you have both of us for resources, and we're happy to help you out. All right, y'all, that's it. We are done. Good job. Let me get Jessica back on here. Hopefully your dinner is done. Jessica, are you there?
I am, and ta-da!
Yeah, oh, it looks so good.
It's finished, yes. So I'm gonna slide this. Obviously, it's kind of hot, but hold on. I'm strong, but I'm not that strong to tolerate heat. So this is our final result. So our enchiladas are ready, and certainly, you know, I use this size 9x13 glass pan. But if you want to make it condensed, you could also, when you do your little roll-up things, tortillas, you could stack them to make kind of like a lasagna thing, enchilada thing going on. So, you know, however you want to put this together, as long as all the ingredients are in there, you're good to go. Again, like I said, I'm not a chef, and I hate watching cooking shows, and you're like, you know, mine didn't turn out like that. Who cares? As long as it tastes good, it's going in your belly anyway. So we're good to go on that. All right. So, all right. So I'm just gonna, oh, see, this is what I'm talking about here. However you get it on the plate works. All right, so I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit, make it look pretty. This is where your avocados come in. You know, sprinkle a few avocados on top. And then if you like scallions, get you some green scallions. I don't cook a lot with scallions, but I recently like learned that the white part of the scallion is where all the flavor is kept. And really, there's not as much flavor in the green part, but that's where you get your crunch. So if you like an onion flavor, but you don't want it to be overpowering or overwhelming, plus we've got some onions in this recipe anyway, that green part of the scallion, you just throw that on top, and it gives you that little pop of color and a little bit of crunch. So there it is. Oh, yep, there it is. All right, so we are good to go. It's dinner time, but before we wrap up, we want to open it up to some Q&A. So feel free to message on the chat, either on Facebook or if you joined us through Eventbrite. We would love to be able to answer some questions for you. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of peek here and see what's going on. Oh, Lindy, somebody asked for your website on here.
On where?
On Facebook.
On Facebook, liveleanlindy.com. I will type it in the chat as well, but it's just liveleanlindy.com.
Oh, you know, I forgot to throw some sour cream on here too, Lindy. Yep. So I actually found, matter of fact, one of my sorority sisters slash BFF found a non-dairy plant-based at Kroger. Plant-based sour cream, sorry. Plant-based sour cream, yes. So you can get this at Kroger, and like legit looks like real sour cream there. So
I'll show you. I have a plant-based sour cream. I've had the Kroger one, but I actually discovered this other one, and I actually like it a little bit more. I'll just show it to you. I have it here in the fridge.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm all, you know, and that's the thing is that, like, you know, I like grocery shopping, so always looking for new products.
This is the Tofutti one. It's TOFUTTI. I get this at Whole Foods.
Okay.
This is my new favorite sour cream. I love it. It's what's it made with? Yeah, I mean it's got it does have soy in it. Like soy and soybean, palm fruit, olive oil. It's really good. I don't know. It's my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one has other beans. Like it uses butter beans. There's some oats in there, coconut oil, to kind of give it that texture a little bit. But yeah, either one. I mean, and you know, that's kind of a common misconception with soy is that like it's bad for you or it affects your hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the phytoestrogens that are in soy don't necessarily affect your body the same way natural hormones do. So, I mean, if you're trying to avoid soy and you're trying to be plant-based, like it's not necessary, long story short.
Yeah, I've read so many recent articles lately that say that just based on current studies, soy is really, it's not bad for, I mean, of course, unless you have an allergy, but
right.
I used to be so afraid of it, but I'm not. I've added a ton more soy into my diet.
Right, definitely.
Anyone else have any other questions that we missed? Hopefully we got them all. We had a lot of different
Yeah, we did.
going on. So
Looking at the chat too. So yeah.
again, if we missed it. Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna dig in here in a minute. Off camera, that is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you all don't want to see me eat. Yes, but this has been so fun to be able to do this. And
It has. Any other questions from anyone?
I'm not seeing too many. Yeah, I think well, somebody asked earlier about the brand of cheese and
Oh yeah,
Miyoko's. And again, I got this at Kroger, but I mean, I'm sure, at Whole Foods, Fresh Time, they have a few other brands that Kroger might not have. And it's trial and error with those. I feel like when it comes to like melting, Daiya does a better job with like cooked meals and melting. But
have you had the BioLife? I just used that last night and today, and that actually melts really well.
Does it? Is that at Whole Foods?
I've got it at Whole Foods and Costco used to carry it. I think they stopped carrying it, but I've seen it at, I think maybe Target has it too.
Okay. What's it called again? BioLife?
What?
What's the brand name again?
I'll show you. I've got it here in my fridge. VIOLIFE. They have I used the Kojak one for my Mexican dinner that I had last night. And they have a mozzarella that I'll use on pizzas. But I agree, the Daiya brand does melt well. This is the other one.
Oh yes, I have seen that one before.
BioLife. Yeah, I really like it. It's made with coconut oil and potato starch. I think it's really good.
Okay.
And I have, like I mentioned in my workout, I just have my own personal completely plant-based grocery list that's available on my website that you can get linked with all the items of where you can buy them. Nice. So for example, that sour cream and cheese are linked on my grocery list on my website.
Nice. For you to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Well, we can, we'll always go back to the chat and the Facebook feed, and if it has additional questions for either of us, just feel free, and one of us will make sure and answer it for you.
Yeah, and definitely if you're watching this after the fact, feel free to pop some questions in there too, and we'll certainly be looking out for them. We'd love to help. Lindy, you got any last words?
Just thanks for everyone for joining. Again, virtual is something I think we're all getting kind of tired of, but it is convenient. It's nice to be able to do from home. We appreciate your support so much, and stay tuned for more virtual events and live events. Like I said, I'll be doing something live in May, and I'm sure Jessica will get back to doing her live cooking events, and we just hope that you will continue to join us and support us, and best of luck with everything.
Definitely. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me know if you try the recipe. Again, it's the vegetarian enchiladas. I'll post the recipe, a link to the recipe in this particular chat in the comment section. So feel free to check that out too. Again, registered dietitian nutritionist Jessica McAllister, owner of Dietitian Approved Nutrition. If anything about energy spoke to you today, please feel free to reach out to me, message me, send me your email. I do have an energy evaluation that you can take for free that'll assess what your energy level is, where you're getting your energy from. And if you need any tools, tips, tricks, anything, feel free to reach out. My website is www.jmcallisterrd.com. And stay tuned for more events.
Well, have a great weekend.
Oh, you too. Thanks. All right. See you all.